In my sex coaching work, I quite often work with clients' sexual fantasies. And I do this for a number of reasons. The first is that often people approach things in a negative. Why am I not feeling desire? And then trying to work out why they're not feeling desire. For me, I think that's pointless. Going to sexual desire, we locate our desire. And when we locate it, we can start to understand it and to work with it. The thing about fantasy that we need to understand is not to ask ourselves the question, why am I having this fantasy? So if, for instance, I have a medical fantasy, it's completely pointless to go through all my past life and work out where that might have come from. That doesn't do anything. What's helpful is to look underneath the narrative structure, which often is embarrassing for people. It's often thought to be infantile or peculiar or perverse. So to look underneath that and to see what the emotional structure is, so the emotional needs that the fantasy meets, for instance, the desire to be wanted or the desire to be accepted, and the energetic structure that's underneath the fantasy, which points very much to our unique pattern of sexuality. So the relevant question isn't why am I having this fantasy, which is a classic psychotherapy question. The right question is, how does the fantasy feel? And once you engage in that way, then it seems to me that you can start answering questions about your distinct sexual nature, who you are, how you want to be, how you want to feel, what you want to do, how you want to connect, all of that sort of thing. It's incredibly useful. I also use fantasy work when I'm working with couples, and I find that's extremely helpful, both in helping the individual understand their own nature, but also in enabling the other person to understand that nature. Because very often, if the sexual nature for ourselves and our partner are different, then we perceive the other partners just making demands on us or behaving in an inexplicable way. But because we have a common emotional inheritance and the narrative structure of our fantasy is just accidental, if that emotional and energetic underpinning of the fantasy is understood, then wholly new ways of relating become available to the couple.